I refuse to give up on Turbo. 50 cents is still my price target for this bull run. Even though that's not financial advice, people may think, okay, that's impossible. Take a look at Turbo. The price is having a major pullback, but the way I view it is that there's still ways to go. I think that this is not the end of the bull run by any means necessary, because even if we take a look at it historically speaking, we do know that altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they usually peak around a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event. If we consider how the last Bitcoin halving event happened back in April of last year, a year and a half from then is actually around October this year. So there's still ways away. So when people like to say that, oh yeah, this is the end, I highly disagree with that. I think better days are ahead. And just think about how when it comes to Turbo, sometimes we do know that cryptocurrencies, they start pumping when we least expect it to do so. We've seen this happen again when it comes to Turbo. Take a look at back in early September, when it was kind of doing really bad. Everyone kept saying, wow, it's going to keep going lower. Then suddenly what happened? Amazing rally all the way to a new all-time high. So you got to think about that. Could the same thing happen again, if not better? I hypothetically think so. There's over 600 million crypto owners as we speak. The hype when it comes to meme coins is beginning to really increase in a massive way. And not to mention, during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. So if you fast forward to right now, we have pretty much double the amount of crypto owners. I think the amount of action, buying pressure, and buying volume that we saw back then could very well be amplified in such a fantastic way this time around. And keep in mind as well, pullbacks, they're very normal. Take a look at Bitcoin. At one point, it was at the price of $1. Did it have a straight shot all the way to over $100,000? No, that wasn't the case. Of course, the general direction, if we take a look at it in the grand scheme of things, is upwards. However, there was multiple pullbacks along the way. I think it's no different when it comes to Turbo. It's much like in real life. Like, for instance, is the journey to the top for most people going to be smooth sailing? I don't think so. Usually when we take a look at these billionaires, these multimillionaires, when they comment on their journey, usually they talk about, how they had some pullbacks along the ways, right? So the way I take a look at Turbo is that it's no different. We've seen that with Bitcoin. We've seen that with Ethereum. We've seen that with many altcoins. And I think this is no different. I think that when it comes to a meme coin this special, I highly doubt that it's not going to gain that massive momentum and traction, especially as this bull run progresses. A lot of people as of right now, some of them are taking profits, some of them are just panic selling, some of them just don't really believe in its long-term future, but I do, because the way I viewed it is that we've seen this basic recipe when it comes to meme coin work so well time and time again. A meme coin with an amazing community, which Turbo has, a meme coin with great exposure, which Turbo has again because it is listed in major exchanges much like Binance and KuCoin, not to mention something that is unique and interesting, which this is. We've seen this basic recipe, right? These three major ingredients, I would like to call it. We've seen it work time and time again. Take a look at Pepe. It was interesting, it was unique, had a good community, good exchange listings. That did very well. Much like Floki, much like Shiba Inu, much like Dogecoin. Turbo is exactly that. Not to mention, Turbo, the fantastic thing about it is that it's not another quote-unquote dog theme meme coin. It's very unique in a sense that it's actually a meme coin created by AI, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything more special than, let's say, like a Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, because it's really not. It's just more so of like, something to really gain a unique factor in a sense, because Turbo, let's face it, doesn't have these fantastic AI capabilities, like, for instance, like a BitTensor, like, an AOS or something like that. No, that's not the case, right? This is just basically a run-of-the-mill meme coin, but then it has that kind of saying that, hey, it's a meme coin created by AI. But that right there is enough, in my opinion, to really stand out in the meme coin space, because everything kind of feels like a carbon copy. This one, again, it has that unique factor. It doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to have a good use case or anything, but then just being able to stand out and be unique, that is really enough in the meme coin space. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, people may argue that, okay, Turbo's not really doing much. They're lazy. They're, not really caring about the project. Well, I think certain factors that I'm about to mention will make some people think, oh yeah, that's actually not true. Because take a look at, for instance, Turbo had a partnership with Motorverse. Motorverse is a subsidiary of Animoca Brands. When you take a look at Animoca, another subsidiary that they have is Sandbox, one of the biggest metaverses out there. So that's a major thing right there. And I actually talked about it when that did happen. Not to mention, you take a look at also how Turbo, through Aurora Labs, there's something called Turbo Chain and Turbo Swap. Now, for instance, Turbo Swap, basically, it's a decentralized exchange. It's not going to be something that's going to be groundbreaking or anything like that, but Again, for the people who say that Turbo isn't doing much, I think that right there does beg to differ because it's at least doing something. Not that it really needed to, but then if anything, it showcases that the project actually cares, right? It's not like they're just there for fun, if that makes sense. Even though meme coin is supposed to have a fun vibe, the team sometimes needs to take the project very seriously, and it does in this case, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen. Now, keep in mind as well, if Turbo were to go to the price of 50 cents, considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $34.5 billion. This isn't too bad, in my opinion. Now, people may think that, oh yeah, this is crazy because this is over 90x from here. It's impossible. Well, not too long ago, it didn't seem impossible, right? So I think if anything, it showcases how the sentiment can change very quickly. As quickly as the sentiment changed when the price of Turbo went down, I think it will equally be as quick when Turbo starts having a good recovery. It's no different when it comes to Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin had that major pullback after its all-time high in 2021, what happened? Everyone was saying, oh, Bitcoin is done in 2022. They were saying it's trash, all this type of stuff. But then as quickly as a lot of people said that, it was equally as fast in the opposite direction once it really started getting that momentum. It's no different when it comes to Turbo, in my opinion. People believe it until they don't, right? But then also at the same time, they'll not believe in it until they do, once the price does go up. So when I take a look at Turbo, I do believe that, yes, sentiment isn't the best, but I think it's about to get there. And I'm not going to wait for Turbo to start pumping like crazy again for me to get into it, because I didn't do that before, and I'm not going to do that right now. What I've been doing throughout the whole time is dollar cost averaging, anytime an income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it. For the people who are wondering, did I ever sell any of my Turbo? Absolutely not. I'm still holding because I view this as more of a marathon, not a sprint. If I keep trying to take profits every time it does a little bit of a pump, a 5x here, a 7x here, then when am I really going to start experiencing the true hypothetical potential, if that makes sense, right? I don't want to do that. I'm not in here for a week or 2 weeks. This is not what I want to do. I want to be here for more so in the long term, if that makes sense. And around a $34.5 billion market cap, how is that crazy? We've seen Shiba Inu at one point reach around 40 billion. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. It's not too much to ask for. Again, when you have these amazing factors this time around, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption, you take a look at, again, how there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. It may not seem like that much in the grand scheme of things because it isn't even 10% of the world's population. However, during the peak of the 2021 bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now we pretty much have double that. I mean, again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, this bull run could be very special. It's clearly just a waiting game, in my opinion. In the short to medium term, things are going to go up and down like this. It's so volatile, right? But then it's not like it would even really matter to me anyways, because I'm not a day trader. I'm not using leverage. I'm not swing trading. So I'm more so caring about what this could be months down the line. You know, some people out there, they have this fixated approach where they just want to care about, hey, what is doing the best today, or what is doing the best this week or this month? And that's totally fine. It's people's choice if they want to do that. However, I don't want to do that because I view this again as a marathon, not a sprint. You know, this is just not my style. I'm not looking for microcaps. I'm not looking for dinosaurs like Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. What is a good medium in between? I personally believe it's something like Turbo, and again, 50 cents during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Malik the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. Bye.